to the Lord I'm pleading. Calling to God, trying to set up a meeting. I want to go back to the Garden of Eden. If I was in Eden now, that would be blessed. Wake up in the morning, I wouldn't get dressed. Walk around naked, just me and my wife. Living in Eden is living the life. The garden is great, at least that's what I hear. The weather is perfect, the water is clear. No violence, no hatred, no trouble, no fear. And everyone lives for like 900 years. But no one counts beside the Most High. Watching it all from the earth to the sky. God is the greatest, standing alone. Made me a woman from out of my bone. There for me always when I need to talk. My Lord, my shield, my shepherd, my rock, my parent, my teacher, my lover, my friend. From in the beginning until the end. Tired of working and sick of the weeding. Done with deceit and the greed and competing. Over the inbreeding, bleeding, meat eating and cheating. Misleading, lead men need a beating. The Torah is the only book that I've been reading. Repeating my prayer to the Lord I'm pleading. Calling the God, trying to set up a meeting. I want to go back to the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden is always at peace. The Almighty One is the only police. And once you get in, if you want to stay, there's only one law that you have to obey. The tree of knowledge you shall not try. That's fine with me. I don't make my pie with good and evil. That's not my goal. Won't touch that fruit with a 10-foot pole. One tree off limits, I don't really care. The garden has peach, plum, papaya, and pear. Orange, apple, apricot, cocoa, cranberry, avocado, olive, almond, and cherry. Mango, grapefruit, pecan, cashew, walnut, banana, and coconut too. Every kind of tree in the roof for free. The Garden of Eden's a place for me. Tired of working and sick of the weeding and done with deceit and the greed and competing. Over the inbreeding, bleeding, meat eating and cheating, misleading, leave men need a beating. Torah is the only book that I've been reading. Repeating my prayers to the Lord I'm pleading. Calling to God, trying to set up a meeting. I want to go back to the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden is just like a zoo, except there's no cages and you're in it too. God's always making some creature that's new, and all the creations are brought before you. God let you name them whatever you wish. Like that one's a flamingo, a lionfish. That one's a hippo, platypus, cat. That's an alligator, orangutan, kangaroo, rat. On top of all that, the animals talk. You make new friends on every walk. Speak with a skunk, say hi to a fly. Share words with birds way up in the sky. Call out a cow, yak with a yak. Talk to a turtle, he'll talk right back. The snake might say you should eat from the tree of knowledge, but then you would end up like me. Tired of working and sick of the weeding. Done with deceit and the greed and competing. Over the inbreeding, bleeding, meat eating and cheating, misleading. Leave men need a beating. Torah is the only book that I've been reading. Repeating my prayers to the Lord I'm pleading. Calling to God, trying to set up a meeting. I want to go back to the Garden of Eden. My name is Adam, I'm the first man. Made in God's image from the dust of the land. He blew a breath of life in my nose, so I became a living soul in the rose. My home was Eden, the garden God grew with a beautiful river that ran right through. Those were the happiest days of my life. It wasn't just nice, it was paradise. In that ground every tree took root. Some looked good, some had sweet fruit. Right in the midst, the tree of life stood with the tree of knowledge of evil and good. Now God told me that I should feel free to eat the fruit from each tree I see, but the tree of knowledge I should not try, for the day that I did I would surely die. Now God didn't want me to be alone and live in the garden on my own, so from the ground God made herds of every beast and flocks of birds. He brought each one for me to see, and whatever I called its name would be. It was nice to have some company, but none of the creatures were quite like me, so God made sleep all over me, and then he did some surgery. Took a rib from in my chest and filled in the place with flesh. She was in the rib God took from me. He made the first woman, and she was truly of my flesh and bone. With her I never felt alone. Things were great until that snake convinced my woman she should take fruit from the forbidden tree. Eat some and give some to me. I ate a piece soon as I chewed. I suddenly knew that I was nude, and also in doing I disobeyed the only commandment that God had made. So he sent me forth from Eden in shame to till the ground from whence I came. For the sake of my sin, he cursed the soil. Ever since then, I've been eating toil. I named my wife that woman Eve. I knew her then, and she conceived, cursed with pain. My wife gave birth to Cain, the first man born on earth. And then she bore another one. Abel was my second son, but my son Abel, he was slain by the hands of his own brother Cain. I had more kids, all 8 generations since the beginning of God's creation. And the family tree leads back to me for every man who will ever be. Now that I'm 930 years of age, I'm not so sturdy. Won't be long till the end of me, for I am just dust, and dust I shall be. Woo!